You're listening to Popcorn in Orbit, a podcast for sci-fi lovers of all galaxies, hosted by filmmakers Jeremy Major and Ian P. Causer.
Hey everyone, welcome back. You've got Jeremy here alongside Ian P. Causer, who's in Great Britain.
I like it, Jay. Thank you, buddy.
I'm in Canada.
Yeah.
And
fantastic Canada. That's what you need to rename.
Fantastic. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. We need some sort of adjective, don't we?
We do, yeah.
Okay, so today's topic is, I know I always say this. This is a fun one. I'm very excited about this. No, today, this is actually a cool topic because this is about great characters in science fiction films.
Yeah.
And I think I realized in putting together my list here how vital the characters are to the story and your experience of it, but also how important the actors are behind the characters. So, Ian, maybe you can set up for us what the rules of today's game are.
So we wanted to do our top 10 protagonist list. Now, it doesn't necessarily need to be the central protagonist.
Yes.
But it can't be the antagonist. Spoiler alert, we'll do an antagonist episode at some point in the future.
Yeah.
So it's our top 10 favorite sci-fi characters that are not villains.
Yes.
Only one entry per franchise, only one entry per actor. And it's TV and film.
Yeah.
So those are the rules. Pretty simple. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
But they're put in place so that Jeremy doesn't name 10 Star Wars protagonists because we know so much.
I know, sometimes I get carried away with Star Wars.
Yeah. And that I don't find 10 roles that Harrison Ford's done.
Yeah.
And try and wedge in Patriot Games in there because
it
could be a sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have to be the central protagonist, but they're on the good side. I think most of them are protagonists, like the central character, the hero.
That's interesting because a lot of mine aren't.
The other thing I'll say about mine is most of my choices are from very grounded science fiction.
Okay. I hadn't thought of it from that perspective. A lot of mine...
Like kind of real people.
I'm kind of 50-50, really, I think.
Okay.
Probably 50-50.
Well, do you want to go first?
Okay.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 10.
Yeah, let's hear it.
This is grounded. You'll like this one.
Okay.
My number 10th... My 10th favourite sci-fi movie character is Rocket Raccoon.
Oh, okay,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I get that.
Voiced brilliantly by Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
I think he's hilarious.
He is.
I identify with that dude more than anybody else in the MCU. Don't know what that says about me.
They really built his character in, I think it was the last installment.
Yeah. Didn't like that. Rocket's ill. Didn't like that at all. I like wisecracking, sarcastic, angry, aggressive Rocket.
Right.
Just firing quips and big guns.
True.
That's the Rocket I love.
Okay. I get that. You don't want to see a transformation to a better person.
I don't want to see Rocket Raccoon lying on a operating table.
Yeah, that was...
That was brutal. That's, I think of Guardians of the Galaxy as kind of the comedy entry into the MCU.
Yes.
So I like the fact that it's a profanity-laced raccoon. That's funny to me. Yeah. And he voices it so well.
He does.
Yeah, that's a proper New York accent.
Why do you think they felt the need to expand his character like that?
God's honest truth as a writer, my guess is they realized, everybody's favorite character is this raccoon.
Right.
We thought it might be Star-Lord or Gamora, but actually everybody loves the raccoon. We better write a story around the raccoon. That's my guess.
That sounds fair, actually.
Yeah, that's my guess. So you got in 10th place.
Why do I feel embarrassed saying my number 10? Jack Harper in Oblivion, Tom Cruise.
Why is that embarrassing? That's not embarrassing.
I do like Tom Cruise. We've talked about this before.
Yeah. But he's great.
He's a great hero. And it's funny, this is where I'm saying, the character and the actor are so intertwined.
They are.
And I think so many of mine are examples of this. It's the casting is just essential. But I think in this movie in particular, he goes through so much, and I've talked about before this idea, like his character's very grounded. Like he has that, tranquil little spot that he goes to, and then he's dealing with this wife that ends up being crazy, and all these sort of things. Like it's just, there's just a lot of dimension to it. Oh, and he's pursuing this person, his former wife, I guess it is. There's always that lingering pursuit of her, and you keep coming back to that visual. I don't know. It's a good character, I think.
It's a good character and a great movie. Did you notice the confidence I said Rocket Raccoon? That's what you're going to do, buddy.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. It's embarrassing. Yeah, there's nothing embarrassing about that.
All right, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Well, it's funny I'm saying Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
But the character is Jack Harper.
Ah, right. Yes, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And I'm sure you were surprised to find out it was Jack.
Yes, had to be Jack.
Tom Cruise playing somebody named Jack.
Yeah, I'd love him to play like an Engelbert or a Humphrey, but I don't see it happening.
Stephen.
Steve would be all right, actually. Steve like Steve McQueen, was pretty cool. But yeah, you can't see him playing a Humphrey or a Cyril. Alan. Every Alan, Cyril, Humphrey, and Engelbert that's listening to this pod is now going to unsubscribe.
We've just offended a whole bunch of people. Yeah, so there you go. Jack Harper, Oblivion.
So that's your Tom Cruise already done. That's it. You can't have another
that's
Tom
it.
Cruise.
I can't come back to it. No.
Okay.
No, it's done. All right, hit me with your number 9.
My number 9 isn't the central character, and I feel for Dylan O'Brien because he's great in the Maze Runner movies, but I really love the character of Newt, played by Thomas Brodie Sangster.
Yeah, okay.
And he's a wonderful actor. He was brilliant in a Western miniseries called Godless on Netflix.
Yeah, right.
And when Newt gets bit, that's the one that really hurts you.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I just think it's a beautiful performance.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the Maze Runner franchise. I think the central quandary in it is amazing. The dilemma, you can genuinely see both sides if you look for it. And Dylan O'Brien's great, and he can't now be on the list.
He's a great actor.
Got the hardest job as well, being that central protagonist.
Yeah.
But it's Newt that I love, and I wanted to get Thomas onto the list because I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, he's such a great actor.
What about you at number 9?
All right, my number 9. This is it's not like an iconic sort of character, but I really like this movie, and I love John David Washington in The Creator.
Oh, wow.
His character is Joshua.
Yeah.
Something about his journey just I really connected with. And I just partly here, I just think John David Washington is cool.
Yeah.
He's just such a cool guy. And I like watching him. He's compelling.
He's brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the film Tenet, but I've watched it twice because of John. Or John David, sorry. That's, and he's just great. And he's got his dad's voice. And his dad's voice is one of the iconic voices in cinema. Yes. But if you just close your eyes, even though there's not a great physical resemblance.
Yeah, no.
You would think you were listening to Denzel. It's exactly the same voice.
I just find him a really compelling actor. And so I'm kind of giving it to him as an actor. Yeah. Strangely, tying it back to Oblivion, also a character kind of looking for the love of his life. Yeah. Right? Who was taken from him.
Yeah. It's a great movie and a great performance. And I'd forgotten that film again. So we're doing a top 10 list again, and I've forgotten a movie. Brilliant.
I forgot about Maze Runner.
Yeah. Oh, did you really?
It wasn't until you said, I love Dylan O'Brien. I probably would have put him on the list here. Okay, so hit me with your number 8, please.
Number 8 was tricky, not because of the character, but because of the actress, which performance to pick. And the actress is the brilliant Emily Blunt.
Oh, yeah.
And she's great in Looper. She's phenomenal in Edge of Tomorrow. But I've chosen her character, Evelyn Abbott from A Quiet Place.
Oh, yeah.
My favourite Emily Blunt performance in sci-fi.
Yeah, terrific.
It's a phenomenal movie.
Yes.
And to do it in silence is something.
I know. I know. But what a great premise, too, though.
Oh, it's a phenomenal premise. Brilliantly directed. And I just think she's immense as Evelyn Abbott. And it's a far more sort of grounded role than, say, for Edge of Tomorrow. She's a mom, and it's a far more grounded, sort of dark scenario. Mm-hmm. And she can do both. She's great in Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, she can do it all.
She can do it all. But Evelyn Abbott, A Quiet Place, my favourite Emily Blunt sci-fi performance.
Cool. Good choice. Yeah.
What about you? What you got at number 8?
Number 8, I have Cooper from Interstellar, Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, he's just kind of cool.
He is. He is. He's McConaughey cool, isn't he?
He's McConaughey cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, a great character journey.
Yeah.
One that I could really connect with personally,
Yeah.
just having daughters and all of that,
That's one of the rare occasions you've got a very small pool of actors that could pull that off.
Yeah.
Because he has to be convincing, first of all, as a hotshot pilot. McConaughey can do that. Then he has to be convincing as an engineer on the farm, and he can do that.
Yes.
And he has to be convincing as a loving father, he can do that.
Yeah.
And he has to be convincing as an astronaut. And he also has to bring that charisma, which he's got oodles of, hasn't he?
Oodles, yeah.
Yeah. I did think about him, and he doesn't make my list, but that's because there's another character from that film that does.
Okay.
So I couldn't have Cooper, unfortunately.
That character got a watch named after it.
Do you really?
Yeah. The watches were really important, right? When they sync them up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And the one watch was made just for the movie.
Okay.
Now it's in production, but it's called the Cooper.
Oh, that's cool. Didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, there you go. All right, what's your number 7?
Number seven. Can I first of all apologise to Keanu? Because I love Keanu. I really do.
Where's that confidence?
This is the one I struggle with the most, but I've got to be true to my heart. My favourite character is Trinity in Matrix, played brilliantly by Carrie-Anne Moss, which means I can't have Neo on my list, or Morpheus, who's also a fantastic character.
Also great. Yeah. Trinity, okay, awesome.
Trinity to me is the central glue of the entire Matrix. I was going to say trilogy, but there's 4 now, isn't there? I think she's the most important character in it. And I think the difference between Trinity we see in the Matrix, in that PVC suit doing those incredible martial arts with her hair slicked back, to the character we see on the Nebuchadnezzar, not in all the gear. Right. That's the character with the biggest difference between the real Trinity and the Matrix's Trinity. Yeah. And I thought Carrie-Anne did both phenomenally well.
Yeah, she's a great actress.
She's a great actress, and she's lovely and maternal and sweet and kind in the real world. And in the Matrix, she's a badass.
Yeah, she has such presence, right?
I know,
she's so strong.
She's so strong, and she's immense. So I feel bad for Keanu because I love him to bits. But Trinity is my favourite character from The Matrix.
Yeah, perfect.
And she comes in at number 7. What about you? What's your 7th?
My number 7 is astronaut Sam Bell in Moon.
Oh, yeah.
Played by Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
And Sam Rockwell just has such, what is it? He just kind of has that way about him. You can't help but like this guy. He can play the most horrible person.
Yeah, you can't take your eyes off him.
And you still like him.
He's played some pretty horrendous racists.
Yeah.
The most despicable characters you can think of.
Yeah.
I watched The Green Mile this week. His character is a serial killing, child killing racist. And yet you find yourself laughing at him, Billy the Kid, because he's funny.
And it's just so natural, just that way about him.
Yeah.
And to carry this entire movie, pretty much the only character in that movie, let's say, is pretty exceptional.
You have to have extreme likability, don't you?
Yes.
Because I can say it because he didn't quite make my list, but I love Will Smith in I Am Legend, which is very similar, a one-hander.
Yeah.
It's Tom Hanks in Castaway.
Yes.
They're very similar.
Love it.
And I do think you have to have that Hanks, Rockwell, Will Smith level of charisma to pull it off.
You do.
Otherwise, interest wanes, doesn't it? I would imagine if you have a lesser actor in the role.
It's it never feels like he's delivering a script.
No.
It's just Sam.
Yeah, it's just Sam. Mm-hmm. He isn't on my list, but he's on my list because he's the one I knew you would pick, and I didn't want to have any crossover. So I left him off because I was certain that you would pick him.
Oh, not predictable.
But he would definitely be on my list. Well, we both love Moon. We both love Sam Rockwell. Yeah. So, I saw that one coming.
What's your number 6?
Number 6 is my Matt Damon. And it's
there it is.
Mark Watney in The Martian.
Yeah, okay. Also on my list.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So where have you placed him?
I put it at number 4.
Yeah.
It's all a bit hazy through this section, I'd say.
Yeah. He's just so good in it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Matt Damon. To me, Matt Damon's like the Jimmy Stewart, the Tom Hanks of his generation.
Yeah, you're right.
He can do anything, and he's really compelling, and you trust him implicitly, so you get straight behind him. And I've watched films about stories that wouldn't necessarily interest me, but Matt Damon's doing it, and I've watched it and really enjoyed it. I would never choose to watch a movie about sneakers, but Air, about how Nike got Jordan, the movie Ben Affleck made. It's Matt Damon, the lead, so I sit down and watch it, and I loved it. Yeah. And I honestly believe if it wasn't Matt Damon, I wouldn't have even tried to watch it, because it's a movie about sneakers, and I'm not that interested in sneakers. Yeah. And he's so compelling. He's so good. And in fact, the whole cast of that is brilliant. Mm-hmm. But that, to me, is a bit like McConaughey in Interstellar. Yes. That is a lead actor crushing it, holding a film up on his own. And Mark Watney, who's not going to support Mark Watney? You know, who's not going to be impressed by Mark Watney? Nobody.
Yeah, there's a lot of humor in there too.
Yeah, I was so impressed with that movie generally because it doesn't feel like a Ridley Scott sci-fi at all. No, it's very light. It's full of hope.
Yes,
and I remember saying to you when it came out, I wonder if Ridley's mellowed.
Right,
and then we sat down and watched Raised by Wolves, the TV series. And at the end of the first pilot, we were like, no, Ridley hasn't mellowed. No. Because he scared the life out of me. I did not see that coming. Anybody who hasn't seen Raised by Wolves should watch it. It's incredible.
Yeah, have a glimpse at that one.
So maybe Ridley was just in a good mood.
Yeah.
A rare good mood when he made The Martian. Because it's a light... It's infused with hope.
It is. It really is.
What about you? Who's at number 6 for you?
All right. So number 6 for me, I have Dr. Ellie Arroway from Contact, played by Jodie Foster.
The fantastic Jodie Foster.
Yeah. That movie, as you know, I love.
Yeah.
And I just feel like her character in this, just the way she deals with that whole... her faith conflict she's having is really great. There's something about Jodie Foster too. She's another very likable
she
actor.
Is, and she conveys smart better than almost anybody I can watch. Mm-hmm. Actually, it'd be interesting because she's a great actress. Is she a good enough actress to portray a dumb character? I don't know if she could. She's just, you can just tell this woman's got like 200 IQ points. You know?
It feels like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of it is the context of the movie. Because I love that movie.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Another person who's brilliant at holding a movie up on her own.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, there's, she's opposite Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. That's before The Reconnaissance, wasn't it?
What is The Reconnaissance?
Didn't that start with Mud? So he did lots of... he started his career with Contact and A Time to Kill. Really good movies, and he was good in them. And then he sort of fell into rom-com hell. Just, and he's just trading on his looks and he's all right, sort of thing. And with Kate Hudson and various other actresses. And then, and he said himself he couldn't get the roles he wanted. He couldn't get serious roles. And I think Mud was the first he did. And people then saw it as a reconnaissance. Oh, he can act. Okay. He's not just a pretty boy from Texas. And then he does True Detective and Dallas Buyers Club and that, it's more serious stuff. I think colloquially we've called it the reconnaissance, the Renaissance.
I've never heard that. I love it. Yeah, that's hilarious. All right, what have you got for number 5?
Number 5 is my Interstellar character, and it was really close between Cooper and Murphy Cooper, played by Jessica Chastain.
Yeah,
but Murphy Cooper's the real hero of the piece to me.
Yeah.
She's the one that gets left behind, and she's the one that continues the work, and she's the one that won't accept defeat, even though Michael Caine's character had done so decades earlier. She's the real hero of the piece. I would run out of superlatives if you asked me to talk about Jessica Chastain as an actress. I think she's absolutely immense. I think she's one of the true greats. And even though she's not in the lead role there, she feels like she is. And that character is as fully fleshed out as any sort of secondary character that you'll see. And so I love Murphy Cooper.
Very good. That's great.
What about you? Who's in at 5?
I put Sarah Connor T2 here.
Ooh, See, she scares me. That's why she's not on my
Doesn't
list.
she? Yeah.
Yeah.
But that part of it, I think, I like just a character that sort of strong, courageous
Yeah.
is impressive. And I feel like Linda Hamilton, like, who else could have played that? I don't know. She just,
I don't know. She transformed.
embodied it. Yeah.
Yeah, she transformed from Terminator 1
Yeah.
into this sort of war machine of a woman in Terminator 2. And there's nothing about it that's false or fake
No.
or overdone.
Still a bit of vulnerability there.
Yeah,
Especially around sort of the well-being of her child.
yeah. That's all she cares about.
Yeah.
It's all maternally driven.
Yeah.
Yeah, she plays it just amazingly well. But yeah, it's a scary lady.
Scary. I know. Like at the end.
Sarah Connor, scary lady. Yeah.
When she's like walking out, in that whatever that the end sequence happens in, and she's got the gun in the one hand, and it's like she's cocking it and firing it all in one hand. It's just so cool.
It is incredibly cool. It is incredibly cool. She can. She's great at that stuff. She really is.
All right, hit me with your number 4.
Number 4. I just realised actually. Sorry, number 4. Katniss Everdeen.
Oh, awesome! Darn it!
Yes.
Why didn't I think of that?
My top 3 are so good
Yes.
that I couldn't get her higher than 4th. But Katniss Everdeen is the perfect protagonist for my personal taste.
Yes.
So she's heroic, but she's real.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of, the attitude she has.
Yes.
I love that because I'm a bit of a rebel myself. That refusal to conform, that refusal to be feminine in her instance, that refusal to play for the sponsors.
Yeah.
The way she shoots the arrow through the apple on the pig's mouth. Do you remember with all the posh people up there, and then takes that mock courtesy before storming off? I love that. I love everything about that sort of character who's not. I'm not conforming.
Yes.
I'm not going to conform to this. It's brilliantly written, The Hunger Games.
It is, yeah. But you always sense this kind of weight on her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Huge weight. I mean, she didn't ask to be the face of the revolution, as we find out in the Mockingjay films later. She didn't ask to be any of it. She just wants to go off and live in the woods in peace, but she can't. And she's got these responsibilities that are bigger than her, and she never shies away from them.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spoil the ending for anybody who hasn't seen it, but the ending of Mockingjay Part 2 is just what you want her to do, and she does it. And even President Snow bursts out laughing because even the villain is proud of her for doing what she does.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. And Jennifer Lawrence is so good. She's so real, and she's a fantastic actress, but she inhibits. I don't know anybody else, because it's a younger role, isn't it? She's very young taking on this role. But she plays it with a gravitas that belies her years brilliantly.
Yeah, awesome. Good choice.
I'm guessing you forgot The Hunger Games from your reaction.
What?
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Who's your number 4?
My number 4 was Mark Watney.
Ah, sorry. Yes.
So my number 3 is Yoda.
Really?
Frank Oz, yeah.
We've got a Star Wars guy in there. I didn't think you'd have one.
He is a great character, and I think I like Frank Oz as part of it. You know?
Yeah. He's the puppeteer.
He's the puppeteer, yeah.
Or is he the voice?
Well,
Actually,
both.
He's both.
Generally
he's both.
I think.
Yeah. Okay.
And of course, anything Muppet related has a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
But Yoda's just interesting, and I don't think he would be on my list if he had started as a CG character.
Right.
Like, part of what's fascinating about watching that is the puppetry.
Yeah.
And the little jiggles of his ears.
Yeah.
And he walks. And it's
I still remember the shock of seeing him.
Yeah.
I fell for it like Luke did on Dagobah.
Right.
I'm looking for Master Jedi Yoda. Can you take me to him? Because you can't believe that this Master Jedi is this little 2 foot tall, 800-year-old green thing. And if you remember the introduction, he's just going through Luke's stuff and he's just trying to shoo him away.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
It's for an introduction to a major character like that, it's such a great way to do it. And it then takes, is it 22 years for us to see him fighting with a lightsaber?
I don't even know.
When he takes on
oh, okay, yeah,
Count
I know what you're
Dooku.
saying. Yeah.
And the payoff was huge because we've waited 22, 23 years to see a younger Yoda, admittedly, taking on a lightsaber battle. And that was immensely cool, CG or not. Because you love this guy so much by that point.
Which probably, as I think about it now, I really liked The Mandalorian. And, of course, there's little Grogu in there, right? They did, I think, go largely puppetry on that too.
Yeah.
And it just adds a certain level of character to it.
It really does, because the puppet's so good. I've seen some of the behind the set, the making of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And actors involved in that series admit they talk to him.
Right.
Like, between takes.
Yes.
He sat there in his pram. Like, you all right, little buddy? And they admit, they forget that, he's puppet. I think he's remote control now. It's not strings, But I think Pedro Pascal's admitted I talked to him sort of between takes, and you catch yourself going, you kind of forget because he's such a great character and he moves so realistically. I'm just really pleased that, and he's very high in your list, that you've got a Star Wars character. You're coming over to the light side, aren't you? You're starting to believe in the Force.
One character from Star Wars, and it's none of the normal ones. It's a tiny little puppet.
Yeah.
Don't get too excited.
But how much sage advice does he administer for
kids?
He
does. Yeah, he's very smart.
Yeah. It's a wonderful creation by George. And for some reason, because it's a puppet, as a kid, you listen to his advice and you go, okay, that's how I'm going to live my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what would Yoda do?
It's true.
I asked myself that a lot when I was a kid. What would Yoda do? Yeah.
I wonder if there's anyone who would put Luke Skywalker on their list.
If they've only allowed one from that franchise, I'm pretty sure Mark Hamill would.
I like Mark Hamill, but
I love Mark
Hamill.
Hamill.
About Luke Skywalker in Episode 4, he's a whiny brat.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get used to that.
Yeah. Maybe Mark Hamill wouldn't. No,
I know.
Yeah, because he's a great guy. He might say no. Well, I wouldn't pick Luke. But I haven't.
Yeah.
So, but this again comes back to my point I made before we started, how tough it is to be that central protagonist.
Yes.
Because often you don't get much colour. You don't make
it's not always
to
the most
play
interesting
with.
character.
It's not often interesting at all.
Yeah.
They've got to embody all of the sort of those stereotypical attributes.
Yeah.
Whereas the sidekicks can be a bit more fun.
I think the one thing that does draw me to the conventional protagonist character is when there's a good transformation.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the key. And they're usually the one going through the transformations. But it's got to be, like that transformation has to feel relevant to the viewer, I think, to really...
That's in the writing, isn't it?
It is.
You've got to give the actor that. And this is why, I love Harrison so much, because if we go back to talking about... In a previous podcast, I brought up The Fugitive out of nowhere. I'm going to do it again.
Yes. Yeah.
If you look at the transformation of Dr. Richard Kimball for Harrison Ford, there isn't any. There's no character art whatsoever.
Right.
The transformation is bearded to clean shaven over 2 hours of a film. That's it.
Yeah.
But it's compelling because it's Harrison. And that's how great he is. And that's why I say he should deserve what he has to do in The Fugitive is just run a lot, go into a river a lot, look at books a lot. His character has no arc, and yet he crushes it because we're all rooting for him.
So he's one of those personalities, like those other guys we're talking about, the Sam Rockwells, who are just interesting to watch.
Yeah, and
doesn't matter what they're doing.
Yeah, I think they bring something to it. You know? Because if The Fugitive was 1993, I was 13. So I'm probably in 13-year-old eyes watching The Fugitive going, well, that's not necessarily Dr. Richard Kimball. Mm-hmm. That's Indiana Jones. That's Han Solo.
Right, yeah.
You're watching Harrison, so you want Harrison Ford to escape.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No, you're absolutely right.
And I do think that's important. I'm worried about telling you what my number 3 is because I am very confident it's going to be on your list higher than me.
Okay. Hit me.
So my number 3, and I'm amazed she's 3,
Yeah.
is Ellen Ripley.
Yeah.
Alien
She's great.
franchise. Sigourney Weaver's just unbelievable.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. I imagine you've got her on your list. Is that
She
correct?
is my number 2.
She's your number 2, yeah.
Again, really strong female character.
Yeah, but not as scary as Linda Hamilton.
Not as scary as Linda Hamilton. No.
But just as tough.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's something about Ellen Ripley that you just, she can kick ass, but you also don't think she's slightly crazy.
Yes.
And I know it's part of Sarah Connor's character, isn't it? She's actually locked up for being crazy.
Yeah.
And that gets into your head a little bit, even though we know she's not. That she's right. The Ellen Ripley character seems to keep cool. It's like a quiet fear, and she keeps walking forwards.
Yeah.
No matter what.
No, it's not that she's not fearful.
No.
But she pushes past it.
And courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyway.
Yeah.
It's not the absence of fear; it's having fear, but moving forwards. And I think Ellen Ripley does that as well as anybody. My favourite Ripley is getting into that mech suit, the end of Aliens.
Oh, I know.
Get away from her, you bitch! And she comes out and fights with it, and that's a great example of a plant and a reveal. Is Cameron planted that mech suit at the start of the film for the loading?
Yeah.
And of course, that's the only reason he shows that scene is for the payoff at the end scene, so we know what she's doing when she gets into this suit.
Yeah.
And it does build up as soon as she starts strapping herself in, you're like, oh, this is going to be cool. A mech suit battle with a xenomorph.
I had the pleasure of working with Sigourney Weaver on the very first film I worked on, I was an intern. I was coming out of college. This is 1998. And it was a, Kennedy Marshall production and filming in the Toronto area. And Sigourney Weaver was the star of the film. It was called A Map of the World, which you don't really hear much about this film, but the cast was nuts. It had Julianne Moore, had David Strathairn, who went on to win an Oscar, and Sigourney was the lead, and I mean, she was great. She was really great, like a great actor in it, but also just a terrific person on set, like really great to be around, but so humble.
She comes across like that, doesn't she?
Yeah,
very unassuming. Yeah, completely unaffected.
But for me, like fresh out of college, I guess I was kind of still in college because it was my internship, and I was kind of working on it as like a director's assistant, which the things they trusted me with. I was driving the director and the cinematographer around, like back and forth to set. I was 21 years old.
That's fantastic.
You know what I mean?
That's fantastic.
There should have been a professional driver doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was exhausting because I had to get up before them and go to bed after them, right? Because I dropped them off at the hotel and whatever else. But it was so cool with the things I heard in the car between those two, working out the shots and everything else. I just learned so much on that project from observation alone. And there you are, first experience in the industry, and there's Kathleen Kennedy, Frank Marshall's coming by, this
That's
kind of
pretty
thing,
big.
Right?
Yeah.
It was nuts.
That's pretty big.
So that was a really exciting thing. But so Sigourney was really great.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So back to the list.
Yeah.
So she's my number 2.
Yeah.
So who's your number 2?
My number 2 is, I think, the only TV entry that to this point. Is that right? They've all been movies.
Oh, I know where you're going here.
Who am I going with?
You're going with Dana Scully.
Dana Catherine Scully, to give her a full name.
Oh.
Or Special Agent Scully.
Right, Special Agent Scully.
Yeah. I'm not going to go too deep on it. People can listen to the X-Files pod.
Yeah.
But Gillian Anderson's perform. Scully is the hero. Right. She saves his ass way more than he saves her. She's the skeptic that keeps the show grounded, even though amazing things are happening in front of your eyes. And it's just a phenomenal performance by Gillian Anderson.
Awesome.
And if it were not for Star Wars, she'd probably be number 1.
Okay.
But Star Wars exists. Sorry, X-Files.
That's okay. And number
Yeah.
2 is not a bad spot to be.
Yeah, it's tough, really, because like Ellen, but I've got to be honest, is this my favourites list? What I'm trying to say is I felt bad putting anybody above Ellen Ripley,
Oh, okay.
but it's a favourites list, and Dana Scully does just Pippa.
I think everyone will sleep tonight, regardless of where you put them on the list.
Oh, I got no doubt about the fact that nobody gives two, honestly, whatever about my opinion. That's fine. So the only person who loses sleep over this list is me when I'm putting it together.
So we know now that your number 1 is a Star Wars character.
Yeah, shocker. Shocker that is, isn't it?
And I think I could guess who it is.
Okay.
Do you have any indication of who my number 1 might be?
I'll be honest, I thought your number 2 would be your number 1.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking it's got to be Mr. McFly or the Doc. Am I right? Is it one of those two?
Marty McFly.
Marty McFly is number 1.
Marty
That's
McFly,
awesome.
Michael J. Fox.
He's just amazing, isn't he?
He's just the coolest dude on earth.
He is. He's the only person in the world that has ever made me want to be short. And that sounds really stupid. I was very tall, very young. I was and to the point where I was lanky when I was 11 or 12 and I kind of stuck out at school.
Mm-hmm.
And there's never a downside really about being the biggest kid in the year.
Yeah.
Except when you see Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future. And I remember genuinely thinking, I wish I was short like Michael J. Fox. So I put short with cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just because I am.
I get that.
Yeah.
Now, I think this is a great example of how important the actor is to the character, because originally Eric Stoltz was supposed to play Marty McFly.
Wow.
They actually shot a significant portion of the film and then reshot it. The studio wasn't happy with Eric Stoltz.
Okay.
And they really wanted Michael J. Fox, and finally got sort of permission from his Family Ties producers and whatever else to come and do it. And so they literally reshot, I think it was a couple weeks of stuff.
Wow.
So my understanding is some of the reverse angles, not on Marty, are from the original filming. And they went back, did the same thing, but with Michael J. Fox. And you can actually see the footage. It's out there. But this would be a very different franchise.
Yes,
it was Eric Stoltz.
Would it even be a franchise?
And Marty McFly, it would be a very different character.
Yeah.
Would there even be a franchise? It's a good question.
Yeah, would it have been one and done?
And just as Eric Stoltz is great in Pulp Fiction and many other things.
Yeah, it's no comment on him. It's just I link the success of Back to the Future so intrinsically to Michael J. Fox.
Totally.
Like I do Harrison Ford to Indiana Jones. If you've got Tom Selleck, who was the original choice for Indiana Jones in that role, it's nothing against Tom Selleck, but there's no franchise. And there's footage of that as well, actually, of his reading. And it's just not right.
It's just not right.
It's just not right.
Yeah. But it's just the way he carries himself, Michael J. Fox. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The way he talks,
his
the
energy.
mannerisms.
His energy. He's like a ball of energy.
He is. So I can't imagine it any other way.
Great character.
Great character. Yeah. All right. So take us through.
Worthy of number 1.
Worthy of number. Thank you. So take us through your number 1. Drum roll.
Mr. Han Solo.
There it is.
Of course. Played by, I don't know if you or any of the listeners know this, but I quite like Harrison Ford. I'm not sure if it's come up before.
No, this is news.
No, this news, yeah.
Great to hear, though.
It's really odd because this is the only place the rules kind of screwed me because it wasn't which Star Wars character. It was always going to be Han Solo. He's the one I identify with. It was...
Which movie?
Han Solo or Rick Deckard from Blade Runner.
Yeah.
But of course, we can only have one Harrison Ford entry.
Yeah.
And Han Solo he beats Rick Deckard. But it feels like that Superman movie where Superman's fighting Superman. That's what's been going on in my head today, is Rick Deckard fighting Han Solo. The irony being Indiana Jones is over the side knowing he's actually my all-time favourite, number 1, but we can't have him because he's not sci-fi.
Right. Yeah.
I did think about saying Indiana Jones from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Right.
And getting it in that way.
You would have been pushing it.
Yeah, a bit of pushing it a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, Han Solo is the character. Even this shows you how cynical I was from birth. He was the character I identified with at 6 years of age. The world-weary kind of, what are you doing, kid? You got to look after number 1. that attitude, that slightly dodgy rebellion. I'm a smuggler. I owe people money here and there, and But what's always abundantly clear with Han Solo is he despises the Empire just as much as any of the pure-blooded rebels, and he always comes through, even when he says he's not going to. And I identify with that a lot. That struggle, that internal struggle of what's the right thing to do, what's the easier thing to do.
Yeah.
And I once described my own character as I want to do the right thing all the time, but I also want to reserve the right to moan about it and whine about it.
Okay, yeah.
And I figure as long as I'm doing the right thing, the whine about it's fine. And I always think that's kind of Han Solo-ish, isn't it? He does the right thing, but he reserves the right to complain about it while he's doing it.
Which I know you've talked about, like George Lucas's best writing being centered around these dualities within characters.
Lucas, to me, what he created is he considers it one movie. All the Star Wars universe is one movie. I've never seen anybody in a movie put so much characterization into every single character that there's nothing two-dimensional about any of them.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
And when you look at 1976, whenever they're filming the first one, there aren't many spunky princesses around who are probably tougher than both Skywalker and Solo. So they're really interesting characters, all of them. Lando Calrissian, he's a fantastic character. And there's a duality in him, he literally screws them and then he comes back round to help them out again in the end. And George created dozens of characters with multiple facets to them. He also kind of looks like a cowboy. That's what I like when I was a kid. He's got that blaster on his hip, the boots, leather jacket. There's a kind of cowboy-esque, which has been taken further with The Mandalorian, I think. Particularly Timothy Oliphant's character in The Mandalorian, where it literally looks like a Western town that he's the sheriff of,
Yeah, you're right.
So there is something of the Western inside Star Wars, which I've always loved. So he's my number one favorite sci-fi character.
It's a great choice.
I've just realized, looking into the camera here, I've got a poster behind me of not Han Solo, but Rick Deckard in Blade Runner.
There it is.
Looking at me there, ironically, and he can't make the list.
No.
Can't make the list.
All right, Ian, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jay. It was fun.
As always, it's been a pleasure.
I enjoyed it, buddy.
I did too.
Take care.
Okay, and thank you so much for listening. We'll catch you in the next one.
Popcorn in Orbit is produced by the Shooting Eye and Ice River Pictures